came through. And Oregon, it will be between these two Yukon majority teams.
Yeah, exactly. Looking at what these operators will be for the ban phase, and we did not see a Kate ban so far, so it would be a first if it was to come out through this map, but MNM gets to start on the defensive half, meaning they also get to start with an attacking ban, and that will be a switch, similar to what they did last time, and this will stop Secret from easily zapping away some utility onto the side, and well, we did see Secret use Twitch quite often, so this is a limiting factor for them for sure.
Yeah, Twitch is one of those operators that is becoming more and more strong these last couple of weeks, especially since the infinite range on the laser right now allows you to get rid of mute jammers so easily. With the Thatcher to be removed as well, that is going to be almost forcing a Cade ban to come from one of these two teams.
Yeah, it'll be very difficult to get rid of a Cade if you don't ban him out like this, because, well, you've got nades, but how are you going to get rid of him if he's underneath a hat, for example, like that? So I wouldn't be surprised if either of those teams ban a Cade. Obviously, if Secret was to do so now, that would leave a free ban coming out from MNM. It's looking like it is going to be that way, and that means that MNM has a bit more freedom when it comes down to depending or deciding what kind of defending ban they want.
See, MNM is also the defense, and if you would have left it open, there is no certainty to say that MNM isn't going to be like, all right, we'll play with Cade. We don't mind. We know how to get around it. And, you know, besides that, we play 6 rounds of defense first anyway, so we can completely abuse it before we show you our way of getting rid of the Cade clause. So, yeah, with that, it is going to be the Cade to be removed by Team Secret itself, and the Wamai to get rid of by MNM. Again, this opens up the window for grenade play, at least more so than other times. And we will see some of that as well coming out from the side of Team Secret. Maverick, Yana, Sledge, all operators that could carry these grenades as the Maverick gets exchanged for a Capitao. Now, you might be wondering why the Capitao? Like, you had a heart breach there. Why do you swap it to a guy with a crossbow with some smoke bolts and asphyxiating bolts? It's due to the fact that he has the ability to actually carry the can openers. Not quite sure if he does. Yes, he does actually. So the 2 heart breach gadgets that could be used to open hatches as well.
Yeah, you call them the can openers. Do you know there's another name for them too?
No, I don't know actually.
Trampolines.
Trampolines?
Yeah, because they have like a shape of a trampoline with a little hole in between. And
yeah. There's just no cell in it to jump on.
No, that's quite unfortunate. You just jump through it.
Yeah, you jump through it. It's kind of the point. Like it makes a hole you jump through, right?
That's actually true. If you put them on a hatch, well, you can jump through them.
No, it's the American casters when we were at the Sweden Major. They kept on calling it the can openers. So it's like, all right, I'll carry that across for you to our side of the pond.
Yeah, I know there's certain people over here in Europe that call it the trampoline, and I think it's more of a fun way to describe it.
It's a fun way. That's definitely true. All right, as we're heading into that first round, it's MNM onto the defense, and they want to make a big impact here. They struggled on their attack on Villa, and they now get to go to what seems to be favoring them more, at least over the last map we played. It's just the issue is it's a completely new map, so what might favor them there is not going to guarantee them that it will be helping them here in Oregon. Especially Gomfi being droned in again. Some pre-fires are coming through, so they might be aware of the fact, that is going to be a very good drone. They know exactly where it will be. It's still going to be an even gunfight, though, if it wasn't for the grenade that's about to be tossed in here. Tyrant walks right into it with his hat taking the explosive hat first, and that's going to be the entrance here for the side of Team Secret after a very good pre-placed drone, and Neo now losing a gunfight as well.
Exactly, it's quite unfortunate. The 2 main roamers on the side of MNM being taken out quite early, and it looks like all the other 3 remaining players are somewhat more close to the site. Soltov has an entire setup ready around the blue bunker, but it doesn't seem like that is any kind of interest for the players of Team Secret. Really looking to take that vertical control, and those rotates, as you mentioned, will obviously help them save a lot of time whenever they're walking around on that middle floor area. Hatch being opened up now too towards that freezer side, and just towards meeting being opened up too. So a lot of entry points that Secret are now opening up for themselves. Trampoline being used on the laundry hatch too, so there's quite a few opportunities for Secret to decide to push from, and this is where that crossbow will really help them out too, because if they can smoke off the laundry opening, then that will force Nello in a very unfortunate position, as he doesn't even have a C4 either.
Still mirror windows, however, going to mute Jimmer. That will stop any of these drones coming in, but he needs to be careful as a push seems to be coming down from the freezer at the exact same side. One drop comes through, that kill will be picked up. It was just to get that fire through, but as the kills are starting to land in MNM's way, it's Secret that now just starts to fight back. It's Packbull with a singular kill before he goes down, but it's going to be Gumpy that responds. He's inside that freezer. He's the last man standing up against the last man of MNM. It's going to be Solotov and the SMG-11, who deals a lot of damage actually to himself, as Gumpy takes the upper hand on that gunfight there, swings around and uses the small cubby on the side to lock off that kill. And with that, Team Secret, after taking a very good entry, almost managed to give it back towards MNM. If it wasn't for Gumpy getting those final 2 kills from the freezer side.
Yeah, Gumpy stepping up huge in this first round here for Team Secret. Definitely a very determining factor towards their win in this round. Got the opening frag and then managed to just push through with pure fragging power. And you saw the Vector player just trying to swing Gumpy. And, well, whilst they're in the side of Gumpy, they didn't even have time to ADS the weapon and try and engage in that gunfight. It was already Gumpy taking him down with a clean and swift headshot. So, very well played also in that last execution where it comes down to the 1v1 situation. And I don't think that shotgun player was aware of Gumpy's positioning whatsoever. Very positive round for Secret so far, but MNM feel like it was too close to try and defend another side first. So they decide to go down to Laundry once more, and we did see Solotov with a heavy bunker defense, and none of the players of Secret really seemed to be interested in taking part of that. So it was mainly their top floor hold that came out, or top floor take that came out, where they got that first pick with. And Clarence now switched to the L, and I wonder what his main gun will be. He's currently running around with a pistol. If he's got a shotgun, he might be able to take those close range engagements. No. Okay. Well, unfortunate.
It's unfortunate, not the FO12 coming out, indeed. And you got to remember as well that those 2 early entries that went Team Secret's way, basically uncontested. Neo not able to put in any bullet into the Secret members, and of course a grenade that came out as well. Taking down the other, not really too helpful for the side of MNM. That's what they're trying to avoid. That's what they're trying to do differently. Take the fight, 5v5 on the actual side itself might be more beneficial to them.
Yeah, and you saw Tyrant being very careful of drones coming out from Team Secret. I think that's something we've seen from MNM a lot. If you see them go for a flank like that, they're literally checking all their corners to see if there's any potential flank drones of the players of Team Secret spotting out their location. But Tyrant was actually checking the wrong corner. The drone that spotted out his position last time was in a different position than he checked out. This time, once again, there is a drone around that Zulu area, but no player to be spotted out. Keenan basically is granted free entrance towards this freezer stairs, and taking out that default camera. He's already found themselves on the bottom of the freezer stairs briefly, but decided he needs to still open up those rotates above that really helped them last round too, to get that quick map control and make sure that all the hatches are open, and there are a lot of entry points for Team Secret.
There's of course a sledge you could do the exact same thing, but due to there not really being any verticality onto the side except for the hatches, breaching charges kind of useless in that case, so why not use them for those rotations, as Sleben now descends those stairs in a wonderful fashion, just jumping down from the beam like a superhero. He's of course a superpower player himself, as he wants to attack those back stairs and cut down the rotations of MNM and the actual side itself. Let's go this time around into the blue side of things, hoping to get rid of a shield and the player out there. Instead of Solotov playing with the smoke canisters, using them to keep him at bay and potentially go for a swing later on as well.
And you have some more grenades in the hands of the Secret players, but obviously that shield and the smoke are protected by an ADS to make sure they don't get taken out as easily. Another player around that rear door will make it very difficult for the players of Secret to gain that control here, but Solotov taking a lot of damage. Meanwhile, he pops out that smoke canister, but gets the first kill onto Packbull too. One of the Heart Breachers, or the only Heart Breacher on the side of Secret taken out. That's okay, because all the hatches were open, but Neo now going quite aggressive, and the kill on Sleben, who had just tossed a nade in. Kendra also taking a lot of damage, but finds an entry onto the side. Does not find the gunfight against users, however, and Nello picks up one more too. Keenan now finds himself in a 1v5 situation. 2 players on the side of MNM, taking a little bit of damage, but will that be enough for him to successfully ace clutch this this round? Well, one's found, but gets traded out immediately with a swing off Tyrant. That is one round on the board for MNM, bringing it back to a 1-1 score round.
Well, at least they denied the flawless round. You know, that one was starting to come in. But yeah, it's 1-1 currently. And with that, we stay close. We stay close to the teams, and like the entire series has been so far. It's not like we've seen one team truly run away with it over any of these maps. And they're not planning to change that anytime soon. Kids in the dorm's main hall are starting to come out as the top floor hold for the defenders of MNM. Now, they reran the bottom floor last time. They were successful. They have found a weakness into the attack of Team Secret. And the big question is, can you also utilize that weakness on a different site? That's what, of course, they will be trying to do. Valkyrie back on that board to give away some extra information. The IQ, however, will be there on the side of Team Secret. Something we seldom struggle with on the map of Cafe. Now, they shouldn't be having any excuse of why they shouldn't be able to find any of these cameras.
Yeah, it was Secret that didn't really bring out the IQ quite often to stop the information game coming out from MNM, but this time they will, and depending on what their take is and where all those Valkyrie cams are hidden, they might be able to spot them out quickly. One was put in the master bedroom. Make sure that if any of the players try and take control over there, they will be spotted out quite quickly. Shall probably be placed outside of the big window here. Just have managed to toss it out well. That one far up there, and it's quite of a standard spot, I'd say.
Yeah.
So even without an IQ, the players off Secret would still be able to spot that one out. They're looking to get a quick entry potentially into Armory, because it's clear as well.
I think they already found it as well, as the IQ was just scanning through and already pinging one of the black guys there. Knowing exactly what they're going to be up against. Armory will be opened up, so at least they seem to be looking to find some early control there to challenge that big bedroom as well at the very same time, hoping. It's an interesting shot actually we have right there.
Look at like a surveillance camera.
Yeah, looking like our surveillance camera indeed.
Yes.
As well, we are going back to the good old times when the noir films were there. It is very interesting. The default cams don't show quite a bit.
Is MNM pushing themselves through, or would it be Secret?
That's going to be the big question. They were so kind to pause for us, so they didn't just continue until we were back in. So everybody back at home gets to spectate these last, what was it, 9 to 12 rounds that are still yet to be played. That could be less, of course, as well, as one of the teams could decide to just end it in a 7-2 fashion. Not that we've seen any of that yet today here, as both of them actually were quite close. Now, MNM on that defense, they have that 1 round lead. There was a little bit of a break, so Secret could have had the opportunity to talk about what went wrong, but same goes for MNM. They might have made some mistakes as well. They might realize what their own weaknesses are and try and quickly edit in some adaptations for it.
Yeah, exactly. As you mentioned, both maps have been very close so far. Both turned out into a 7-5 scoreline. So, could have also gone really close to an overtime. And meanwhile, all of us were asking for really close and exciting games. I think we are currently being treated to a very close and exciting game. And this time it is MNM to go for that kitchen meeting defense, or kitchen meeting defense, yes, sorry. And they have somewhat of an upstairs presence, you would say, as there's currently 4 of those MNM players upstairs. Again, they've got that Valkyrie, and this time no IQ. On the side of Secret, well, maybe they're just aware of these default spots, similar to what MNM did last round, and you don't need the IQ to just scan the camera.
No, for sure not. But, you know, it's more so as well for other pieces of utility. Sometimes an ADS goes unnoticed, you know. The IQ just brings a lot. This one is hard to spot, though. It's like you looking into our default cam right here, that's out here. It's going to blind you just slightly. And as it's looking through some nice small holes of the lamp itself, it does give quite some information here. As Gomfi quite close already, actually looking to be pushing into the security area. 2 grenades being tossed in on either side. Keenan gets the entry frag. It's Solotov that dies first. And the top floor is surely under a bit of pressure here. It's an LMGE. That means Keenan will probably not have to reload this entire round if he continues on like this. Actually wanted to go for it there quickly, but cancelled it. As there is a player in Attic, there is a player on the bedroom as well. He needs to be careful that he doesn't get swung from 2 sides at the same time.
Exactly, and whilst you mentioned 2 players are really close to the side already, it kind of seems like they stalled out there. There's still Nello in the security area where they'll have to deal with, and Nello's also got a shotgun to protect himself from those close range engagements. He is probably the first person they'll have to contest once they really want to walk onto that side, but you should be careful of this entire upstairs hold that's going on from the MNM players too. They only found one of them, and so far there's still three just sitting patiently upstairs and waiting for attackers to start walking into their waves. And this is really where it's starting to take a lot of time for the secret players to actually get some map control, because 1 minute left and all they've got so far is that control over trophy.
Might be a bit careful here on that top floor. They don't know exactly where these players are, and as the flashbangs and the stuns are being used, they will start to push onto the attic. But yeah, a player to be found as a default cam and a bulletproof get taken out. So right now, some sprays coming through. Tyrant will be found by Kendrew, but I believe the players are back onto the site already, and now they need to use verticality with only 35 seconds left on that clock. It is going to be the X-Karos to be used. Yuzu tries and play around it, but loses his life from Sleben, who was down the hallway. Wanted to go aggressive, wanted to play on a position that wouldn't have been expected, and as a Nitro is to be prepared, it gets popped in a place where no one will be walking. Neo needs to rotate back to the side. Of course, it is going to be on the backstage as well as the diffuser gets dropped. It's a huge play, actually, with 10 seconds left on the clock. They need to recover that one. Might have not spotted a cross right there from the player, but definitely the hedge drop as he fails to get that kill. It's Nello now on 1 HP, who rotates all the way around, but he's going to be too late to get the Nitro up in the right place. And that means 45 seconds on that clock. Secret have a good thing right here as Keenan drops right into Nello as the Nitro was about to be tossed out.
Yeah, exactly. That was a Nitro tossed against Keenan's body, really, and it was too late to be detonated. So it was the only position where the last player of MNM was, and quite easy to deal with in that matter. When they dropped the diffuser on the side of Secret, or when it was MNM to pick up that kill there, I really thought it could have gone the other way, especially looking at the fact that there was only about 10 seconds left, but unfortunately that gunfight afterwards was lost. And now they find themselves on this 2-2 spot. Well, it's a really close game so far, and this could literally go anyone's way. I mean, obviously MNM being on the defensive half and Oregon kind of leaning towards that defensive favor
it's
too.
more of a 3-3 nowadays, I dare to say. It's a very balanced map, but that's basically due to everybody knowing exactly how this map works. So the attacks and the defense are all stabilized nowadays, so it's more so who has the better gun skill at that point.
It seems that the secret players really have that gun skill. Now, we pointed out before or prior to this game day how they managed to win their gunfights against Vitality, and they seem to do this again. Well, obviously the scores have been reset because we had to make a new lobby and everything, so we cannot see the kills and deaths from those first 2 rounds that we had. It's now MNM to try and go for that laundry defense again. The site is open up after they've played 2 other rounds, and once again, Team Secret seems to have that information. All their drones still alive. Obviously, you don't want to lose them during the prep phase. You don't want to lose as many of them. Comfy still having that crucial information on top of the freezer stairs, which will basically grant them free entry towards freezer stairs and take control of that real quick. And that was exactly what Secret did in their first laundry attack and managed to help them win the round.
Definitely helped them there indeed, as the LMG has returned. Bottom floor, the site, the point of interest. Secret is spotting out some of these footsteps that were upstairs. It's of course to close out these hatches, but better to check in, make sure there is no roamers than you are to be surprised by one. And as 2 of these footsteps get scanned, there's only one opportunity left to hunt down a potential roamer, which, spoiler alert, is not there. Everybody's down on the side, everybody's down in the basement, so it's going to be a very horizontal gunfight. You could almost, well, tell everybody it becomes. And it seems like the majority of it will be coming down from the freezer side of it.
Yeah, I'd say this is pretty a good decision by MNM too, because when they lost their first lives, it seemed to be on the roaming side. So when they keep their players alive longer by just having them chill onto the side, it means that they can engage in more gunfights, because it was really Secret that was taking these players off guard with having information or just spraying them down through walls, because they had that information of where these players are. So meaning that all these MNM players are alive and well on the site, means that they might engage into more gunfights later on. Yellow Pink's coming out too, though, on the position of the player close to the blue door. And in that case, that is Neo going for a swing onto the pillar stairs, but not really finding anyone just yet.
For sure, and he's also in a position where there is, of course, a hard wall covering him, so even a drop through the hatch is not going to be guaranteeing that kill. So what you'll see probably is a bunch of Excaros to be used to open at least a small angle onto his position, so he's not freely allowed to walk around the boiler room here. But at least for now, it's taking quite a bit of time. There's 60 seconds left in that round as Gumpy now takes Barrel under control. He's here to put up some pressure onto the position, onto boiler room, and potentially the player that's playing close on the angle. But he needs to be very careful. If he oversteps and if he overstays his welcome here, he will be picked up, and suddenly all the pressure that is coming in from the boiler is gone. Him being alive there might be worth more as Neo is trying to take the gunfight here. Wins the first, knows one is on the staircase, knows another has dropped, but as the nitros are popping out, it is definitely MNM that came out on the better end, on the upper hand of this one. The pings are coming through, but the gunfight gets lost. 3 on 4, we keep counting down. Slemon taking a lot of damage here, but he somehow survives as he rotates back to the boiler, to the pillar stairs. Fire that takes a lot of damage as well, and as the smoke canisters are about to be popped, it's the player that gets taken out on the actual side itself. The diffuser not in the hands of any of these attackers. They need to go for the kills at this very point, especially with the time that's currently left on the board. 2 on 2, we keep counting down. 5 seconds they need to execute now. There is no time to wait as Tyrant comes around the corner and takes out the very last player on the side of Team Secret. It's MNM that pick up yet another round.
And that was great positioning coming out from those MNM players. And like I mentioned earlier on, I think a very important factor was that most of these MNM players were still alive when the execute came in. And that was maybe different in rounds prior to this one, where they lost some bodies on the roam and being taken off guard. It's obviously less of a foot you still have holding down onto the side. And this time, great positioning by, for example, Neo, being able to swing around the pillar stairs and around the E-box drop, and good patience coming out too. I'd say good trigger discipline. When one of those players drop, he would usually expect someone else to drop as well. I think that was definitely where Neo was waiting for. That didn't happen, so he went for that gunfight there. It's okay if you lose another one towards the player on pillar, because you have that information. You still have a lot of players alive that can take those gunfights for you.
It might also be due to the fact that they knew a Nitro was already ripped out, so that could be flying out any second now into that cubby. If you take that gunfight, you only give your position away in that case. Of course, eventually he did go for that gunfight, got the first, the Nitro got the second. As a result, MNM had that 2-man lead. Round 6 about to start, as the prep phase is currently ending, and well, MNM had some issues with their roamers being picked up quite early by Secret, which is of course due to, partially due to their active droning work, inserting Gumpy as the spearhead of their attack right into the middle of the sites already, but also due to the Jackal being on the board. It's so easy to get a location on these roamers after you spot their footsteps and know whether or not they're still downstairs or not.
Slavin just exchanging a little bit of kiss with the Thermite there as they walked against each other outside, but like you said, indeed, it's constantly Gumpy that's being actively droned in by his teammates, and well, you get a lot of information with that, especially if there's a lot of roamers on the side of MNM, but they seem to adapt as well. This time all the players on the bomb site, or at least on the floor of the bomb site. The one being furthest away is either Nello or Neo, but Nello's positioning for sure. He's got a key position in the closet here, a mute jammer to make sure they can't spot him out, something that Secret has been doing a lot, and then obviously the shotgun to engage in those close range gunfights. Someone starts walking into the closet unaware of his positioning. He might be taken out quite quickly. There are some drones passing by though, yellow pings too. But here's where the shotgun comes in play. 2 mute jammers assisting his position here safely, and it's taken out. That might cause a good entry on the site for the Secret players.
It's going to be 2 mute jammers even to make sure no one is going to be even able to get into that bed. And Nitro gets out, and that might not hit. Actually takes care of one of those mute jammers. No, not even that. I'm not quite sure where that one went. It just went into the void apparently. Swings wide with a shotgun here. Hopes to take a gunfight as he needs to rotate back. Gets the first. Knows there's a second. Goes aggressive as it gets peeked from the car. Tries to rotate back. Gets through the hole. Or at least the door for now. Doesn't want to take the hole yet. Needs to make sure that he stays alive for as long as he possibly can as he's creating it and turning it into a running hole. The grenade gets tossed out, but Nello stays on alive. Goes aggressive yet once more. Gives away his position. Tells them, I'm still here. You got to use these grenades, and successfully does so now as Sleben takes that kill. Big issue now is, though, there is a big giant hole inside of that walk-in closet, and it needs to be closed or watched at all given times, because otherwise they don't even need to use the thermite exothermic charge there.
Now, I was going to mention indeed of the importance of Packbull staying alive, but As mentioned, there is already a soft wall in that closet, so they don't necessarily need to breach it. And now the control over Trophy is being completely given into the hands of Secret. They now do some reconstruction and make sure all the default chems and information is gone. And uses in a pivotal position, has that C4 if he tosses it over the Trophy wall at the right time. And that might do enough damage indeed to get rid of the Goyo shield, as well as kill Slevin in the process. C4 comes out, beautifully tossed, gets the kill onto Slevin, and that is also the sledge now off the board. Meanwhile, he's already used both of his grenades. It is a very important one though. He uses to pick up one straight after the kill onto Comfy. Solotov as well, and Packbull finds himself in a 1v4 situation, waiting onto the swing, but it's uses to win that gunfight as he goes for the swing. And that is MNM closing out their defensive half in a 4-2 split.
Crouch pick coming in, and the first time any of these teams have a 2-round gap over one another on this map. Because the 4-2 splits have happened before. Now the big question here is, can MNM improve on their attacks compared to what we saw on Villa? Because they weren't really up to the level. That wasn't really what we would like to see from the side of MNM, and well, it's going to be up to them now to improve on that, whereas the side of Team Secret wants to make sure that they try their best to bring it back to a 4-4 as soon as they possibly can, and work on from there as well to reach a map and match point situation.
I like the 6-pick coming out from the Flores, or towards the Flores. Something that Secret seemed to be struggling with a little bit yesterday when it comes down to them holding on to their pivotal positions as well as their utility. And a standard thing that you'd usually see when it comes down to defending this downstairs launch area is that shield in the blue bunker. Packbull's just placed it down and will potentially be playing right behind that shield and assistance with some ADSs to make sure they can't toss in nades, flashbangs, and all the kinds of utility to get that smoke player out of the blue bunker. But if you have something like those RCE Retiro charges and you can send them in without Packbull being fully aware of it, you might get rid of the shields very early on. Ooh. This is some really good information coming out. Users now knows there's one of the players around the small tower area. And that is similar to the information that Secret had and how they're able to get those early frags. And Slevin's already gone back towards the site.
Yeah, he did go back indeed, and that means that probably they will find out soon. At least they know he's not inside of the dining, so just going to quickly drone the rest of the sites to try and figure out if he's playing close. They do find out it's one uses the first one to really enter, opening up some extra rotations right here to ensure that everything is safe. Now, the RC Retiros, as the first one already pops off, can be used to create rotations, get rid of utility, or displace defenders. Now, the first of those three uses has already been done. Another Retiro will be coming out soon. Actually, 2 Retiros already used. Not quite sure what the second one was. Oh, that's a shield already destroyed. So that is quite quickly taking care of utility and a rotation. So that's 2 of the 3 uses done.
And I think if I look at the wall where Packbull is, that also means that the ADSs supporting him there are gone too. Yep. So Packbull is very vulnerable to any grenades being tossed in by someone around the blue bunker. Still decides to hold on to a pivotal position like that though. Could help him out later on to the round. This no real MNM players have located themselves outside of that blue bunker to push it. Just got rid of his utility to make sure that it's a more vulnerable positioning for Packbull now. He goes for a little bit of a swing and a pre-fire towards the meeting hall, but doesn't manage to find any of the MNM players. They're not really close to that meeting wall, but they're still working on other parts of the building, making sure they have hatches open, making sure they have those rotates, and sending down users down those freezer stairs briefly, only to make sure he's got some more information before he finally does so.
Extra RCs are also being used. As the Gemini gets taken out, it's a Banshee. Quite impactful or interesting, not interesting, crucial to do, because if you want to push down those staircases, you really do not want to be slowed down. That is the last thing you would like to have happen to you, and as they're opening up extra angles right here to stop any boiler presence, this last RC Retiro to be used on the side of the barrels as well. Another Banshee to be taken care of. It allows them to push in a little bit quicker, a little bit closer, as Tyron is the first to actually enter the site right here. Knows one is a freezer, chooses to use the Gun 6 right there before he pushes in with his ARX. And as they, that's a good kill from Solotov. Actually, it's a double kill as well. He just completely opens up the side. It's Elbow under control and the grenade to be used to get rid of Kendrew. It's only up to Sleba now in a 1-on-5 situation. He gets the very first kill from the side of Freezer, but as Neo is already getting the plan down on the board, it's 45 seconds that will be counting down. 7 necessary for him to try and lock it off, and as he takes the fight onto the pillar, the players are already rotating out. One up to the top floor with the Capital still playing close, and someone inside of the Elbow. Sleba needs to find these angles one by one, but he's just fighting off multiple crossfires. Nello holding the hallway. He could be a victim here, but instead it is going to be Solotov that gets the very final kill. Spots the head, gets the kill, and MNM are up to 5 rounds.
Yeah, and MNM drastically needed to better their attacks after having a miserable attack in half on Villa. Well, this was a really good attack coming out from MNM, and this is why, personally, I love the addition of Flores towards the game, because it helps the attackers deal with all the utility coming out so much better. You saw RC Irritator Charge being used for the shield for 2 of those Banshees, and that makes a push onto the side so much easier to do. And then also great grenade usage coming out on the side of MNM, because the one concerning factor for them to push further outside of the blue box or further towards the E-box door was that Ella playing with the FO12 shotgun really close towards the E-box door, and if you don't know the Ella is there and you walk in, that could be detrimental. But it was a nade to be tossed in towards that E-box door to take care of that Ella, only in the down situation, but he cannot access the shotgun then obviously. That was great usage of utility from the MNM players. Obviously Solotov going for a huge play in that blue bunker definitely helped them to gain access and control over that side, and it was really good coming out from MNM, and that might be just what they need to make sure they win that final up, and well, they're getting close to it.
Yeah, and it can be brought down all the way to, you can almost say the RC Retiros all finding their targets. A shield, 2 Banshees, and a rotation all created to ensure the speed of the attack when it mattered most. Still taking care of any potential screen distractions that he might have if he would be to play instead of the security. They also know that they're currently 3 rounds down. They need to up their game, and as Neo gets indeed again a good spot, I think that drone will be used quite a lot now in the local ranked games. I think you're going to have to pre-fire that every single time.
Yeah, I reckon it's a good pre-play drone.
Tyrant's already close. Was in a position where he could have gone for the gunfight if he wanted on Sleben. Kendrew now in a roaming position as well, so 2 roamers on the side of Team Secret to protect that basement floor. Both of them are close towards a hatch, so MNM needs to make sure that they're not carelessly opening up these hatches. The first gets spotted out. Kendrew is removed back towards the basement as he opens up a barricade, but Sleben, he is the big worry here. He's still inside of the security area, and if he doesn't get spotted out, he might be going big right here and being able to pick up a kill, but it looks like he's being watched. It looks like they're watching that wall, and if there's a drone to come in and give a ping, he might be able to get a pre-fire kill here. 3 members all surrounding him. And that's going to be the wall that opens up right next to him. No, they don't know. He gets the very first kill. It's Tyrant that drops in now. They should definitely be aware of the fact that the player is still inside of security as he rotates out. A flashbang comes in, but Neo still picks up the kill.
And low HP though, but he gets that kill, and a very important one for the MNM players to now have one of those roamers eliminated. A little bit of damage also done to Keenan. It seems like the other roamer on the side of Team Secret is also retreated back towards the site, which is now being opened up, so we have some more entry points, but Kendrew could be in a very important position. He finds himself hiding in the garage and gets a kill onto Neo by doing so, and now he's going to walk back down the stairs being chased by one of the MNM players, and looking to go for an aggressive swing, but doesn't win the gunfight against Nello. We're back to a 3-3 player position now. Nello though on lower HP, and only Keenan on the side of Circuits only lost a little bit of HP.
Yeah, I couldn't return there. If he pulled the barricade, it would have been fired upon from the hatch. If not, he would have been held out there. So all he could do was waste some time and potentially go for the kill to rotate back through that hatch in that given time. 45 seconds left on that clock. No control this time of Elbow, so free potential to fall back there on the side of Team Secret. And as the smoke canister is about to be used, that will actually waste a lot of time. There's still 2 left, and as the smokes are being returned on the side of Nello, he rotates all the way around. They need to find an entry somewhere, and the question is, where is it going to be? Because the back hatch on the E-box is still closed. Another smoke canister used on those laundry stairs, but it's coming from the back right here. Comfy drops, however, he fails the opportunity opportunity to pick up the kill. Packbill goes down. 14 seconds. Keenan, the last man standing. He's inside the freezer. He has the angle right here to stop the defuse from happening if he manages to push through. But Nello, he manages to survive and goes to a secondary angle. He is being watched, and Solotov picks up that very final kill. It will be 6 rounds here for MNM, and only 1 left they need to put themselves in the grand finals.
And this might be a little bit of stress or pressure coming out on the side over the shoulders of the Secret players, because something they were so well exceeding in and initially was winning their gunfights, and now they just seem to lose their gunfights where clearly they have an advantage in the gunfight or should be winning it because they're holding angles. And same with what you saw with Keenan, he just had a clear angle towards the diffuser and still managed to whiff the gunfight a little bit.
It's a bit unfortunate there. He probably didn't know, sure, just fired a couple of bullets, and Nello got up and decided to change position. The situation we're currently in is that Team Secret has called for attack timeout, I can only assume, as we're on that pause screen. Of course, it is 4 rounds they need to fight back, and they've almost managed to do it against Kofana yesterday. They got so close. Not on Oregon, but just in general. So we know they can do it. They're on the defense as well, which is overall still quite helpful for them. They can set up the puzzle that needs to be assembled by MNM before they can break through. Or in MNM style, they just like brute force themselves through the puzzle instead of trying to solve it.
This is something we've seen MNM struggle with, though, especially in Challenger League. And when they have that 6 somewhat advantage, they struggle to close it out. And, well, meanwhile, they have 4 rounds to potentially do so. It's still a essential point to get that last round and not let this go towards an overtime, because we've seen that as soon as you let Secret get that momentum and get those few rounds in a row, then that could be a very scary thing to go against. And it's only 1 more round that parts them from finding themselves in the grand final and find Secret eliminated from this tournament, or these European close qualifiers for the 6th Invitational. 1 more round is what MNM is looking to get, and Secret on the defensive half, like you said, now looking to defend the upstairs objective after, well, not necessarily successful having defended Laundry twice, because it came down to losing some gunfights and losing rounds, even though they had players set up in really good positions to take the advantage.
Yeah, definitely so. And I mean, you've just said it. MNM struggled with getting that last round. It's arguably the most important round as well, if you're 6-2 up. But they have 4 opportunities to do so. And the big question here will be, how long do they need? Or are they not going to be doing it? Is Secret going to be able to bring it back to the OT? That is what we're currently waiting to see. Now, Secret, they have been able to fight some comebacks in their lives. They're just being asked to do it yet once again here for the close qualifiers to go to a grand final, potentially if you reach overtime. Whereas MNM, they know as well, they got knocked out by Kofana at the very first round up to the lower bracket, so they want to complete the lower bracket Dream Miracle run. But they just need to get a singular extra round before they are invited to those grand finals. To play against Kofana, you of course have a slight advantage, not in maps, but in that phase.
Oh, that shield iron trophy is already being left alone, and it's now detonated as well, which could give some entry for MNM, even though there's still 2 stereo gates on the bedroom door as well as on the trophy door. Kendra is now find himself back in trophy, looking to go for a little bit of a swing. However, not really finding any of the MNM players so far. Kendra has really been an interesting position so far, where we found that freebie, so to say. Last round similar in Garage, but this time he's in a more aggressive position. Finds himself at the bottom of the meeting hatch. Has those nades where he could potentially toss them up to kill one of the players in Attic, but isn't doing that so far. Just uses them downstairs right now to get rid of anyone playing around concrete, but no nades just really connecting to any of the Secret players so far.
In pocket for now, another shield gets destroyed, and as they did take care of the Surya laser gate, they only need to open up the wall now. It could be done with a soft breach such as uses, but they might actually want to open up the hard wall next to it. Not quite sure. Users for now is just holding off an angle. There is still a player down below, and indeed, there it comes. The Heart Breach is what they want to go for. However, the Mute Gemmer is going to be the big issue. The ping comes through just to get it in position, and Users gets the very first kill. Kendrew drops. That could be quite crucial. Also opens up the Mute Gemmer here, so the breach into the game's room will take place. And as Packbull and Kanan are still downstairs or playing around those white stairs, Users has the opportunity to come and haunt them from the back of it, especially once the plant starts to happen. There is going to be some verticality. They can dig in deep right behind the foosball table, and that is probably what Neo wants to go for. Fire is coming through. Smokes will probably shortly follow, and as he makes his way right behind the plant, is now coming through. 45 seconds soon to be on the board, and Nitro does get used, but it doesn't explode in time, and Neo manages to survive. It's a 4-on-4 retake as Neo goes down, but it's 40 seconds on the board in favor of the attackers here that need to be retaken by the remaining secret members. Backbook gets spotted, but manages to survive, and this is only up to Tyrant and Users now. There's still that one player on the armory stairs that is trying to take away a lot of the attention.
And Packbull goes into the process, but it's now used in a 1v3 situation, technical 1v2 situation. But he's got the holes from underneath, gets the injure onto Comfy, now putting himself in a 1v1 situation. Slevin fakes the defuse for a brief second, tries to pick up his teammate, but Users gets the last kill. It's MNM to advance onto the big final, putting himself in a really good situation where he found that 1v1 and manages to win it out as well. Users a really good performing player for MNM and manages to get that very important final clutch to move on to the grand finals.
The 1v3 clutch indeed, having one down, using the verticality to get the player on that defuse.